All right, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I just got a message ran across my screen here saying something was no longer available. Usually, when I see that, that means 30 or 40 something minutes. And I don't know. It look like now it is acting up now. So I don't know. These people came out, called, they said try to fix it yesterday. Well, a guy came out trying to fix it yesterday. Thought we had it fixed, but look like I'm still having some issues. Cause got a notification just went across the screen and whatnot. But I don't know. Um, YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming as such viewers. As such, what now? As such, viewers will experience buffering. Mm. Yeah, tell me what else is new. What else is new? Jesus Christ. See to be raised, Lord. I guess that's Comcast for you though, because I'm hearing a lot of people having problems with Comcast lately. So maybe it's a Comcast issue. I'm gonna have to keep it on this screen so I can monitor it or whatnot. But in the meantime, while I'm getting these error messages, can y'all see me and hear me right now? That's the most important thing. Can y'all see me and hear me now? Okay, so y'all can. All right. All right, guys. I'm gonna try to do this. If it start messing up real bad, I don't know what to tell y'all. You know, that's why That's one of the reasons why I've been going live lately because of my damn internet. You know, I don't know what the hell. You know, I've tried everything, and this thing. Jesus Christ, man. I don't know. Saying what's going on? Lady D, what's going on? Ron, Pretty Sauce Leo, Ruby Ray, uh, Aubrey, Lattice 2K. Lattice 2K says she know this person. And she just recently talked to this person. Air Force 5. I see Spencer came in the building. Wendy, what's going on? Food stamp. Food stamp. I should use some of those. What's up with you? Lord knows I can use some of that. I'm pretty much sure at this point a lot of us can use some of that. And it's still doing this. Still doing it. Still doing it. Miss Diddy, what's going on? What's going on? If it gets too bad, folks, I might just have to shut it down. I probably have to do it on Premiere if it gets too bad. You know, because I've come getting error messages on this end. It's going for excellent, then it's saying it's poor, excellent, and it's poor, excellent, and it's poor, excellent, and it's poor. All right. Anyway, let's get right. Oh, damn, excuse me. All right, guys, let's try to get right into this. And I ain't really, I'm kind of going in this blindly because I haven't had a chance to even get into this to see what the hell is really going on with this lady. So I'm coming in this blindly, but I'm gonna feed off of y'all because I know a lot of y'all be getting a lot of this stuff before I even go live about it. Let's see where we're going right here. All right, guys. So we're gonna talk about this later right here, and apparently it's making national headways because I got it through the news breakout, which I get a whole lot of stories from the news breakout. Oh, doing wrong. I get a lot of stories from the news breakout, And some of this stuff just be just crucial. Just crucial. You just have to ask yourself, what the hell these people be thinking? You know, what's in the Kool-Aid? What's in the jungle juice? What's in everything to make people do the things that they do? But we got a woman out here out of Baltimore by the name of Jamerria Hall. We have her children. Let me move myself out the way. Which their name was NERIATHOMAS and Davin Thomas. Now, for what little information I was able to gather before my internet started acting a dick, is she has confessed to killing the children, and some about her neighbors called the police because they were smelling a real bad foul odor coming from her apartment. Now, I never smelled a dead body before, but I've heard people talk about it. They say it's a smell that can clear out an entire probably coliseum if possible. That's just how bad this stuff smells. And, you know, they say a lot of times when people pass away, they lose their bowels. And I think they say they pee on themselves too, something like that. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if anybody work in a funeral home doing things like that. But they say it is a foul smell when a body's decomposed. You keep it around, this shit is foul as fuck. You know, and I would say this. If it's that bad that people say it smells like that, and you can stand that smell, then I don't know what is wrong with you, you know, because a lot of us can't even stand the smell when we changing diapers. You know how bad babies think sometimes when they boo-boo, you know. How many of y'all got children, and when you change their diaper, and you go, and the children hear you say it so much that they start doing it, you know. When you change their, they go, My little sister, you do that. When we change diapers, she go, I say, yeah, right, you know, because that shit stinks. So if it smells like that, or even worse than that, how the hell can you sit up in there smelling that shit going on in your apartment or your car or anything? You would think you would never stop throwing up. All right. So I don't know how that shit smells. I don't even want to know how that shit smells. All right. I don't know. But if anyone y'all has smelled that, please spare me the details. I don't want to hear it. But anyway, guys, let's get right into it and let's see what's going on with Miss Jameria and Latimus, guys. She says she know Jameria and Latimus. If you want to come and speak on your connection with her, you more than welcome to come to speak or whatnot. But all right, let's have a listen. Let's have a listen. You said because it's happy to be happy because his train is 10 times worse. I don't know what you're talking about. All right. Anyway, let's go.
Shocking confession, and police say a mother admitted to killing her 2 young children, then leaving their bodies to decompose inside their Southwest Baltimore apartment. Tonight, police are still trying to answer the question everyone wants to know, and that is why. Hello, everyone. This is the news at 11, and special welcome to those who are streaming on CBS in Baltimore. I'm Vic Carter.
And I'm Rick Vitter. Now, neighbors tell us they only ever saw a loving mother with those children, but as investigators try to piece this all together, tonight we are learning more about the suspect who had some run-ins with police.
WJC is live. Annie Rose Ramos tells us this is not the first time she's faced charges related to her children. Annie Rose.
Oh, Lord.
Vic and Rick, we've learned from court documents
she faced charges with her children. Oh, this is starting out bad already. Let's go.
2 counts of negligence, of criminal negligence back in 2018. Now, we've also heard tonight from a neighbor who said she only saw a good mom. She tells us she can't understand what went wrong.
A gruesome discovery leads to a mother's arrest.
We can confirm now that the mother, 28-year-old Jamerria Hall, is the suspect in this case, having confessed to murdering her children.
Police were called to Coventry Manor Apartments Tuesday afternoon because something smelled bad. Responding officers say they found 6-year-old Jamerria Thomas and her 8-year-old brother, Davin, their bodies decomposing. The police commissioner says there are reports that the children were seen as recently as last week.
And I have 2 little mini-me's tonight. This evening I have
Jamerria Thomas Joy.
And I have
Davin Thomas.
1 year ago, Jameria recorded this podcast with her 2 children.
Y'all been driving me crazy. But But I love y'all.
I too.
Okay?
Okay.
They were like a trio. If you saw her, you saw them.
Their neighbor, who did not want to be identified, says her own daughter and Jamerria were best friends.
Jameria and my daughter would play in the hallway.
Calling Jamerria an attentive mother. That neighbor says this spray paint on the grass is from where Jamerria recently painted a table for her kids.
It was beautiful. It was like the blue sky, the beautiful blue sky with the white clouds.
Now the family's neighbor wonders how she'll tell her daughter that her best friend is gone.
I have no clue how I'm going to explain this to my baby. Because she played with them every day.
Now, Vic, in 2018, police tell us the children were reported missing but found the very next day with their mother at the hospital. Now, this mother is now in police custody and charges are pending. Reporting live at 11, I'm Annie Rose Ramos for WJZ.
You know, now again, good people, you have to ask the question, you know, when you hear that interview or podcast, whatever it was that they was on, you would think it'd be a happy family. You would think it's a happy family full of love and joy. But like I said in one of my last streams, y'all just don't know what goes on behind them closed doors. Y'all just don't. I remember, and I was telling somebody this the other day, my relationship with my mom wasn't the best growing up. Now, when she did come to the schools and things like that, people used to always tell me, Chris, your mom is nice. She is so nice. Your mom seems so nice. Every parent is going to seem nice because they not your parent. So when they come to open events, of course they're going to put on a mask to make them seem like they the nicest person in the world. Amen? I'm pretty sure everybody can agree with me when I say that. They're going to put on the nicest face to make them seem like they're the nicest person in the world. Now, I'm not just saying my mom was a bad mom, but some things she done and said to me in the relationship that we had with me growing up, it was fucked up. It was. All right? But I will say this. A lot of stuff she was trying to tell me, she was telling the truth. And a lot of time it was on me because I didn't want to hear it. And I'm pretty much sure we all been there before. We were young, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it. And a lot of us get to spending ourselves and thinking that we're grown. In actuality, we're not ready for the real world. All right? But at the same time, when her and I at home, it's not what you see in the public. So, of course, if it's not your parents, she is going to seem nice to you. Preach. She's going to seem nice to you. Just as well, if I would have seen your mom and dad, they're going to put on a personification to us that they're the nicest person in the world. But when y'all go home, we don't know how mom and dad treat you when you go home. It could still be peaches and cream as we see it in public, or it could be hell on Hot Wheels. We just don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We don't. So they can go into this. It sounds like they're the perfect family. But what happened behind them closed doors? What was going on? What made Jameria go to a breaking point that she did this to her children? Exactly, Darlene. Thank you. Exactly. What was the breaking point where she said, I don't love these children no more, so I'm going to hurt them? And I asked that with a lot of these stories that I do. We love our children until when? When did the love stop? Who influenced you to stop loving them? What influenced you to stop loving them? You can't kill them and then turn around and say they was my world, they was the best children in the world. Like we hear a lot of these people saying these stories that I do. How the fuck you kill them then say they was nice children in the world? If they was the nicest children in the world, then they should still be here, right? Amen? They should still be here if they was the nicest children in the world. They was my world. They was my everything. so much that you killed them. What kind of fucking sense does that make? What kind of sense does it make? And if anybody got an answer to that, I would like for you to tell me. What kind of sense does it make? And Latimus, my heart goes out to you. You said this was your brother's girlfriend. Wow. I can imagine what you're thinking and what you're feeling right now, considering you had some kind of connection with this woman. And you say you just talked to this woman last week. I can imagine how you feel now. I can imagine what you think right now. But I'll say this. My platform is open if you want to speak on y'all friendship. Ruby Ray said, Chris, that is, well, it is sad, but at the same time, like I said, I'm not just going to say my mom was a bad person. I mean, a lot of stuff, you know, I like I said, I've grown up to see what she was talking about. You know, I've grown up to see that, you know, and I'm going to tell y'all this. It's just like I tell somebody the other day. When I get off this thing on YouTube, I go right back to my reality. When y'all hear me talk on this YouTube thing, you're getting a lot of emotion and you're getting a lot of pent up anger that's coming out of me. Because one, it's a damn shame that this is going on with the children in this era, where in the era that I grew up in, we didn't have to worry about this. And then two, a lot of these stories that I talk about, I can relate because some of the stuff happened to me when I growed up. It's kind of like what y'all call it, them trigger moments. So it's a lot of pent up anger and emotion that comes out of me. But if you wasn't know me in real life, a lot of people tell you he's standoffish, he's distant, you know, and some of the things he do, you wouldn't think that he do. And that's probably, we ain't gonna talk about it, nothing bad, but you know, somebody told me I was nasty. So when you hear the word nasty, just think about what I'm talking about when they say nasty. So they didn't know I get down like that, you know, but yeah, you know me in real person. You know me in real life. You're real close to me. You know in real life, that dude be way over there somewhere. But he's still cool as a fan though. But he be way over there somewhere, you know. So, but it's all good. But I appreciate every person in my life that has gotten close to me and still dealing with me to this day. That's how I know those true friends. They still deal with you to this day, even though they think you a dick and an asshole sometimes, but they grow to love you because that's the type of person that you are, you know. And I'm pretty much sure we got a lot of people in our life that's like that. All right, so you know, so hey, to all of y'all, I love y'all for sticking with me and my asshole ways. And some of y'all, I know I did some dirty stuff too, but y'all charged it to my emotions, and a lot of y'all to say fuck you. I'm still gonna be here for you. So hey, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, guys, let's continue. All right, so the next thing we're finna get into, we finna get into this right here, saying that court documents gonna say that this woman had a violent history. And I want to hear what this got to say right here, because it's pretty fucking interesting. Let's go.
Tonight we're learning more of the history behind that horrible discovery of those two dead children in the Southwest Baltimore apartment complex. Jamerria Hall, the mother of a 6-year-old Jamerria Thomas and her 8-year-old brother Davin, confessed to police today that she murdered them. WMER2 News' Eddie Kadam joins us live now from the Baltimore City Police Department. Eddie, it sounds like there is a bit of a history here. What did you learn today about her past?
Good evening, Kelly. According to 2018 charging documents, Hall set her mother's apartment on fire with the children inside. Those documents say that Hall was removing smoke detectors and destroying some of them, and then she lit photographs and other items on fire around the apartment. Police found her and the children at the hospital the next day. The children were questioned by the child abuse unit. I took these concerns up with an attorney about how that could possibly happen, how she could regain custody after all of that, and given her documented past.
This evening I have
Jamerria Thomas Joy.
And I have
Davin Thomas.
The voices of two young siblings,
now a haunting memory of their short lives. This recording from their mother Jamerria Hall's podcast, posted just a year before police say she killed them. And they say she had a history of violence.
They should have furthered the investigation because you set your own house on fire with your kids in it. So CPS should have took my opinion, CPS should have took the kids right away.
Brandon Dixon says he could hear arguments throughout the day and night coming from the apartment on Coventry Road. He says he usually saw Hall, her children, and a man sitting inside a car in the same spot all day. He noticed the car disappeared a few weeks back and saw the kids sitting by a stump by themselves.
I just seen the kids, so I kind of like got a little personal with them. Hey, how you guys doing? I don't see your family out here no more. Normally you guys are in the car. And they just kind of like looked at me, like they didn't look happy at all.
This all started because of a complaint from neighbors about an odor coming from the apartment. That's when police were called and they made the gruesome discovery, and still today they are airing out the building.
A Maryland case search found that she pled guilty to first-degree arson for lighting her mother's house on fire with the children inside. She served a year in jail and was granted custody of the kids because the father didn't show up to a court hearing.
Really?
Commissioner Harrison said the department would review Hall's child custody history as part of their investigation. But what's not clear is what action CPS or Child Protective Services took. Attorney Mark Sherman is not directly involved in the case, but he says usually CPS would have investigated after the 2018 charge of arson, a case he called undercharged.
Mental health is a huge problem these days, and I'm very sure mental health was a critical problem in this kind of situation here, unaddressed mental health problems. And what we may have here is a situation where there was no proper CPS investigation done and no rehabilitation, no treatment, no accountability for what had been done in 2018, which sort of brought us here to today.
We found her Facebook page where she posted about the struggles of motherhood and dealing with depression. She's in police custody with formal charges still pending. Live in downtown Baltimore tonight, Eddie Kadam, WMAR 2 News.
With that being said, you cannot tell me that this system isn't faulty. You can't tell me that it isn't faulty. This woman purposely set somebody's house on fire with her children, set her mom's house on fire, and if I heard it right, with her children inside. And y'all granted this woman her children back after she did all that. So I would have to ask the question now: What does it take for CPS, social services, to deem somebody, if it's safe for me to use the word, a menace to society? Or should I say a menace to their own children until they get help? What does it take for them to see that? If this woman did this to her own mother's home with her children in, that's not enough reason to say, hey, ma'am, you need to go get help. You need to go get help. But you said she got custody back because of what now? Let me see if I can find it again.
Is a huge problem these days, and I'm very sure mental health was a critical problem in this kind of situation here, unaddressed mental health problems. And what we may have here is a situation where there was no proper CPS investigation done and no rehabilitation, no treatment, no accountability for what had been done in 2018, which sort of brought us here to today.
And they say she had a history of violence.
They should have furthered the investigation because you set your own house on fire with your kids in it. So CPS should have took my opinion, CPS should have took the kids right away.
Brandon Dixon says he could hear arguments throughout the day and night coming from the apartment on Coventry Road. He says he usually saw Hall, her children, and a man sitting inside a car in the same spot all day. He noticed the car disappeared a few weeks back and saw the kids sitting by a stump by themselves.
I just seen the kids, so I kind of like got a little personal with them. Hey, how you guys doing? I don't see your family out here no more. Normally you guys are in the car. and they just kind of like looked at me like they didn't look happy at all.
This all started because of a complaint from neighbors about an odor coming from the apartment. That's when police were called and they made the gruesome discovery, and still today they are airing out the building.
A Maryland case search found that she pled guilty to first-degree arson for lighting her mother's house on fire with the children inside. She served a year in jail and was granted custody of the kids because the father didn't show up to a court hearing.
Because the father didn't show up to the court hearing. That's what I was trying to hear. She got granted back her children because the father didn't show up for the court hearing. I want to tell y'all something. And, a lot of this stuff with the CPS story, it bothers me because CPS was called to my house twice. When this dude I used to be cool with, I let him stay in my house. And some mess he got caught up in YouTube or whatever the hell he had going on, called CPS, get called to my house twice. All right. And for this woman to do what she had done, you was able to get your kid granted back. But y'all came to my house for 2 false allegations. To my house. Which they should have no reason coming to my damn house because I don't have any children. But y'all came to my house twice over a false ass charge. But this woman actually did something that y'all know that she did. And she got her children back. Again, this is how you know that the service, social service, or the child protective services and shit like that is fucked up. It's fucked up. For us men, y'all hear some dirty shit, y'all come fuck with us. But it seems like with some of you women, y'all get a slap on the wrist. For something that damn dangerous, you get a slap on the wrist and got these children back. How the fuck does that work? How the hell does that work? How does that work? I don't get it. I don't. So for people who I saw in the chat room who's saying that CPS has failed these children, I agree with you. They part of the reason. They're part of the reason. And so now I had to ask the question now. Since the dad didn't show up, I'm wondering what's the relationship between her and the father. Did she do this because she had something against him? Was she mad at him? What was going on between them two? It caused all this nonsense to go on. What was going on? And also I'm wondering now, since this story is coming out, is he going to speak out? Is he going to speak out? And like I said at the beginning, I don't know how decomposed bodies smell. I don't know how it smell, but apparently it must have been that bad that we seen that news clip and they still got the door open claiming that they trying to air the place out. So it must be that damn bad. That shit must smell that damn bad up in there that they got to do that. It must smell that damn bad. And it's funny they talk about that because I got the article pulled up right here. She was guilty 3 years ago. Court papers from that case reveal what could be considered disturbing details about Hall, now implicated in the death of her children. In October 2018, Hall and her children went missing. Police released a photo asking for the public's help to find them. Hours before they vanished, there was a fire. According to court papers obtained by Fox 45, Hall set that blaze at a house on Up Manor Road. Investigators say she disabled smoke detectors. Wow. And set fire to a frying pan with family photos in it. Investigators also found a makeshift altar or shrine with family pictures on the sofa. Signs perhaps of a troubled mother. At a news conference Wednesday afternoon, Fox 45 asked police about their case. Asked if there was concern about her state then and whether anything was done about it in terms of the children, Baltimore Police Commissioner Michael Harrison said, "We learned about that recently, that case. They were found the next day at a hospital. Now that we're investigating this, when you heard me say we'll be looking into her past, that's what I mean. We'll be looking into her past. As of Wednesday night, we were told detectives were still interviewing Hall and no formal charges had been filed." And this was posted yesterday. So let's listen to what the man said. He said, "This tells me there was no proper CPS investigation. This was no proper CPS investigation. There was no help, no treatment. Y'all gave these woman these children back and didn't do shit to help her to try to maintain what sanity she might have left to try to take care of these children. Y'all put them children right back in harm's way after she set a fire ablaze, set a house on blaze with her children in it, got a shrine up there, put photos in the skillet, burned, which caused the fire." And again, social service does not see this enough to say we cannot give these children back until this woman gets help. We cannot send these children back until this woman get help. Nobody said this. Oh man, you learned your lesson. Here you go. You can have your kids back. And with that being said, now I had to ask this question. If the mom is still alive, or did she have any say so in all of this? Did she try to stand up for the children and say, hey, let me take them until my daughter gets help? Now I'm wondering that too. Where's mom at in all this? And did she try to get Jameria help? Or could it be the possibility she tried to get Jameria help, but Jameria turned it down? She being hard-headed, which I have done stories like that. People have tried to get these people help, but they being hard-headed and turn it down. They don't want help. And I guess with that, you can't force nobody to get help if they don't want it. You know, but at the same time, if you got the power, get them children out the way. Get them out the way. This is devastating. This is devastating. Very devastating. And guys, I don't know if y'all having a problem with chatting or whatnot, because I noticed doing that lately. If y'all are chatting, I don't know if y'all messages coming in late or what, you know, but when that happens, it makes me feel like my stream fucking up. So I don't know if y'all shit coming in late or y'all just abandon your boy or what. I don't know. But anyway, let's continue. Let me see. Okay, I think this is the press conference. But I gotta wait till this ad get through playing so I can hear this press conference. I was trying to find it somewhere else, but I didn't see it anywhere else. Usually I go to Facebook and Twitter try to find the press conference, but I didn't find it nowhere. So I don't know. But let's hear what they have to say.
For joining us. I'm joined by Mayor Brandon Scott and my Deputy Commissioner Cherie Briscoe. Yesterday, officers were dispatched to the 500 block of Coventry Road to investigate a reported death on arrival inside of an apartment. When officers arrived on the scene, they discovered the bodies of two juvenile victims who were both in a state of decomposition with obvious visible trauma. Our homicide detectives are currently working with the medical examiner's office to determine the exact cause of death and the exact time of death. Both victims have been identified as 6-year-old Jamerria Thomas and her brother, 8-year-old Davin Thomas. My heart goes out to the family members, and on behalf of the Baltimore Police Department, we send our condolences and our heartfelt prayers. Now, while our investigators are always working under very challenging circumstances, there is nothing more difficult than investigating the murder of a child, much less two children. And while this investigation is still very early on, we can confirm now that the mother, 28-year-old Jamerria Hall, is the suspect in this case, having confessed to murdering her children. She is currently in our custody, and detectives will be pursuing criminal charges. We're still reviewing surveillance video, combing through calls for service, and speaking with residents and gathering any additional details around this heartbreaking incident. At this time, I will turn it over to our mayor to say a few words.
Let me ask a question. So they're gonna press criminal charge against her, and we just heard that she suffered from depression, wherever the hell is that they claim that she's suffering from. What's the possibility that she may claim insanity, or her defense attorney can claim insanity?
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. This is a unfathomable, gut-wrenching tragedy. And my entire heart and prayers go out to the family, the community, and really the entire city. School starts on Monday. Davin and Jameria, as you hear, who are 6 and 8, should be starting school like the rest of the kids in the city. And if you have children, or if you don't have children, think of a niece or a nephew or a little cousin or just your neighbor's kid, and take a moment really to reminisce what it was like to be 6 or 8 years old, and the excitement of a new school year, let alone a new school year after you haven't been in school in over a year. Davin and Jameria should be making new friends. They should be showing off their new school shoes. They should be really starting to grow into who they are as a person, inching closer and closer to their full potential. And we should be celebrating their promise. But instead, we are here today talking about their unfortunate death. And I'll be honest, I didn't sleep much last night. When you think about a tragedy like this, you think about having all that's right in the world. Young people, energy, their voices, their laughter being snuffed out in a moment. And
is this the mayor? I remember this young man. What is his name? Mayor who? It's Mayor something. I remember this young dude, real young dude.
For something that could have and should have been avoided. You hear me always say that Baltimore's greatest asset is our young people, and efforts to allow them to grow into the best version of themselves and to truly take our city to be better than we ever have been starts with preserving that promise that they have, starts with investing in that promise that they have. And this is why our administration,
Brandon, yeah, I remember him because I did another story. He was talking on something.
The complete and comprehensive approach. I can assure you that as we work to develop the most robust child fatality review process in the country, the tragic deaths of these two beautiful young
what's going on to
people
everybody that's coming in? You know, I'm trying to let it play instead of talking through it. So what's up, everybody coming in?
We have to, and we will.
Hit that thumbs up for your boys to come in.
Enables tragedies like this to occur. This wasn't drug related. This wasn't violent groups, or this wasn't, or where we had some random thing. And while we don't know the details of the case, we know that 2 children are gone. We know that a family is dealing with a traumatic situation that no one can even imagine. We know that a community is dealing with a traumatic situation that no one can even stomach. And a city, again, is faced with an unthinkable traumatic incident. And it's because of incidents like this and others that we've had, unfortunately, that you hear me, and why my entire administration is working and focused on reducing trauma in our city. And because we know that the ills of our society are tied together, I will continue to push for our young people to get all the support and resources that they deserve. But this cannot go on, and it cannot and will not be our normal. For both Davin and Jameria and their old friends, those students who are going to come back to school and be looking for them, who are going to have to be consoled by teachers and grief counselors. They're teachers who are going to have to be consoled about students that they remember having all this energy. For all of them, we have to be better. We owe it to them to be better. And with that, I'll turn it back over to the Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And so, as I mentioned, we are still very early into this investigation. We will be looking into Ms. Hall's background and working with Child Protective Services in reference to the case. And lastly, let me thank my captain, assistant commander in the Homicide Division, Captain Edwards, and all of his detectives who work.
Instead of working with the Child Protective Services, how about y'all start investigating them? Look into them, investigate them, and find out why in fuck's sakes did they let these children back into the arms of this woman? Despite the dad didn't show up. All right, cool. But why? And then on top of that, you know, where was everybody else at? They could have took these children in and made sure this woman got some help. That would be my thing. Where was everybody else at?
Tirelessly around the clock on this, officers, detectives out in the field who supported this homicide investigation. Let me say thank you to all of you who worked really hard around the clock to make sure we close this case within 24 hours. We'll take a few questions.
Commissioner, you said she confessed. Can you tell us why and how she did it?
Well, no, I can't tell you how and why she did it. What I can tell you is that our detectives worked really, really hard to locate her. And once she was located, she was brought in for questioning. Detectives did a phenomenal job and was able to extract a confession from her that she's responsible for the death of her two children. We won't go into the how and the why. That's still being investigated, and detectives are still looking through a lot of evidence, but it's still an open investigation.
Can you tell us the timeline between when officers arrived, found the children, and then the actual arrest and where she may have been found?
So the call came in yesterday afternoon. Call of a foul over. Officers responded to the location. Once inside, located two victims, one in the front room, one in the bathroom. And so it was at that point children were found when officers arrived and were able to enter the residence. It wasn't until, I believe, this morning, if I'm correct, the mother was located and brought in for questioning.
Commissioner, I know you're going to a lot of issues in the sense of what you can reveal, not reveal, and you move past that part of it. And I know the mayor, maybe it's a question for the mayor about all of the departments talking together. If this was a mental illness problem, if this was an abusive problem, which necessarily wouldn't come under the police department, but another agency, and I know you can't speak maybe because of just whatever, but this is not somebody on the corner shooting at each other and a kid caught in the crossfire.
That is correct. And to your previous point, there is communication between interagency cooperation and communication within city government, and there is communication with agencies outside of city government. However, we're looking into Ms. Hall's history to find out what happened in her history that could have led up to this. And those are questions that we ask during the investigation. Certainly, we would love for a world where there's so much communication we can know in advance, but we don't live in that world. So yes, it's incumbent upon us to communicate, coordinate within city government and with other agencies in other jurisdictions.
And I'll just add, Pete, that this is why we restarted the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. We had our first meeting last week because we know that there has been a gap in communication and working together to develop solutions to problems that we're consistently seeing. And that's why we're going to be pushing to make sure that that group stays more active this time. We had a very, very successful first meeting and how we're going to work together and share information, but really, it's really about doing the work of solving the issues that many of us have seen in the disconnect between not just city agencies, state agencies, federal, and everyone was at the table last week, and that's a start, but it's a significant thing for us because that has not happened in over 3 years without having that body meeting.
But you also have commented on people just talking to each other, family, teachers. If the kids came to school and had marks on them, or to communicate that with somebody. I mean, you guys can't be everywhere.
And I think that, Ms. Pete, you and I have talked about that before. This is one of the reasons, when you think about that, right? This is why it's important for our young people to be in school learning, and why we need adults to do the right thing to keep our COVID numbers going the right way, so that we know that when young people are interacting with their teachers and all of these other folks, we're able to get information and get them resources, right? For some of our young people, we know when they come back to school next week, it's going to be about how they can get multiple meals a day. These are real things facing our young people, and we need adults to understand how their selfishness, it will prevent that from happening for our young people, and the importance of us having all of these caring, in our neighborhood, in my neighborhood, your neighborhood, they say it takes a village. These folks who work at their school, the folks who are in the cafeteria, their teachers, their counselors, the people that they see at the rec center, their coaches, the folks at the library, they're part of these young people's village. And that's what we have to continue to make sure that those resources are there and open to our young people, to make sure that we help as many young people as we humanly can.
Commissioner, I have a few questions here. How old is the little boy?
I want to say the little boy is Davin, I believe, is 8, and Jameria is 6.
Okay, and were there any other kids in her home, in that home?
Those were the only 2 children found inside the residence.
Do we know if she has any other kids?
Don't have the answer to that now, but we can certainly get that to you.
And then I wanted to know who called yesterday.
Well, there was a call from a citizen about a foul odor.
Commissioner, I found an article from 2018 where this mother went missing with her children, possibly connected to an arson case. She has a case there from 2018 as well. Was there concern about her state then, and was anything done about it in terms of the children and
that's what I want.
We learned about that recently, that there was that case. They were found the next day at a hospital, and so they were reported missing then, but found the very next day. Now that we're investigating this, we learned about that. When you heard me say we're going to be looking into Ms. Hall's past, that's what I mean. We'll be looking into her past to ascertain if there was something that was done that led her to this, or something that wasn't done that perhaps led her to this. But it's all.
So again, I had to ask the question. Y'all gonna look into her past, which there's nothing wrong with that. Y'all gonna look into her past, and y'all gonna see all this fucked up shit that's going on. Again, what's the percentage that they're going to go for an insanity plea or mental illness plea, whatever the fuck plea that they call it? If y'all look into her past and probably see all the fuck shit she been going on and see that this woman need serious help, what's the percentage that they can go for that? It's insanity. I'm getting concerned about that already, and she ain't even on trial. I'm getting concerned about that now, because I'm sure when y'all going to go back and look at her stuff, y'all gonna see a whole lot of fucked up shit that she's done, and I'm getting concerned. She probably gonna get off on this, but I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the court, how that shit works, but she may skate up here on ice off this shit, but we'll see.
Part of the investigation of the killing of the 2 children.
Do we know if the kids were in the system, DSS, as a result of that?
That's all part of the investigation that we're working to get the details for.
And that time around, you said they were found in the hospital, the children?
They were located at a hospital the very next day.
Okay, so was the mom there? Do we know if she dropped the kids off at the hospital?
The mom and children were together at the hospital the next day after all 3 were reported missing.
And you guys said there were visible signs of trauma to the body. Can you elaborate on that?
Just when you see children that are dead, that's a visible sign of trauma. Children were dead inside of the home. And so we then had to make sure, not only while we continue to professionally investigate, but make sure we offer resources to our officers to make sure that their health and wellness remains intact, so that they can appropriately investigate this without being more traumatized than normal, because that's not a normal thing to see. So that's what I mean.
All right, we're going to go to the Baltimore Sun. They haven't asked any questions yet. That'll be our last question.
Now, before, sorry, Alexa, to your point, when you hear me talk about the child fatality review, that's what we'll be doing. Of course, neither one of us were in charge at that particular time, but we'll be making sure that we're working with all our partners to see what was done and what wasn't done, so that as we move forward, that we make sure that things are put in place.
Commissioner, just real quick, do you know at this point, had officers ever been called to that apartment before for police or anything?
What we found was that there had not been any recent calls to that apartment. I think while we were on the scene yesterday, we looked back 30 days, and there had not been any calls for police to that apartment.
And do you know, is there any information about like how long the children may have been missing?
To the best of our knowledge, they were seen last week, but it is still under investigation to determine by the medical examiner to determine actual time of death and how long they would have been there.
So it was her apartment, correct?
It was her apartment.
Did there appear to be AC running, or I mean, when officers walked in, the state that we're questioning about of decomposition, time-wise, was there AC running, or I mean, the conditions of? Can you comment on the conditions of the home?
It was. I was briefed about while on the scene that there were early stages of decomposition.
Thank you, guys.
Can we get one last question to the mayor? Mr. Mayor, what's in place that you want people to know, the hospitals, the churches, to get help? If you have a problem with a kid, to drop it off, with no questions asked. What do you want people to know before it gets to this stage?
Well, we want everyone to know first that we have a Department of Social Services, DSS, is there to help. They want to help. They have a fabulous director who wants to help. They reach out and work with families very directly. We also want people to get help in many things that they need. This is why we have a Mayor's Office of Children and Family Success. There are opportunities for folks to get help with their young people and for families, and we really desperately want everyone to get any help that they need. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Wow, very, very interesting. Very interesting. I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on this one and see how this is gonna play out. This is just crazy madness all over the place, and I'm dead serious. I am so concerned what's gonna happen and if she's gonna get off when they look at her past and see all this craziness, foolishness going on. How much of a part they can play that is going to make it easier for the defense attorney to say that she's insanity. They're going to plead insanity. I am very concerned. Jesus Christ, I am so concerned what's going to happen with this. Man, jeez, man. Man, Jesus Christ. Hey, them poor babies. Them poor babies. And remember, we talked about earlier, fire. Did I just do a story recently about a apartment got caught on fire, and 5 children had lost their life down there in East St. Louis, Illinois. And so now we doing this story, and we hearing the word fire again. Fire. Hey, Mimi, what's going on? Been a minute. You said CBS can't keep up with all these cases. I mean, I get you on that, though, but when you got shit like this, that a woman doing shit like that and setting the house on fire with the children in it, I mean, what more do you need? What more needs to happen before you jump into action and say we need to get these children to safety? Y'all can go to people's houses on false calls and false narratives and bullshit like that. Then what is going to take when somebody actually do something and you seen that it happened and y'all had them because this happened? What is it going to take for them to say, no, you'll get your children back when you go get some help? You'll get them back once you go get some help. At least they could have done that. You need to go get some help. I think anybody who set a place on fire with your children up in it, you need to go get help, man or woman. But just because the dad didn't show up, they say, fuck it, we gave it back to her. And look what happens now. And then the sad part about it, 9 times 10, whoever was a part of that investigation probably don't feel nothing about it. And you want to know why? Because it ain't their children. It ain't them, which a lot of people is like that. Wherever it ain't got nothing to do with me, fuck it. And I get it. I get it with a lot of stuff. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Fuck it. You know, I mean, yeah, I can understand it in a lot of cases. But however, though, if we got people who claim that they care or CPS, however, if their motto is safety for children, then this is a bad fucking example of safety for children. A bad example for safety for children. A bad example. A statement of charges: she did feloniously, willfully, and with deliberately, premeditated malice or forethought, kill and murder Jamerria Thomas. Did assault Jamerria Thomas in the first degree in violation of CR 3-202, contrary to the form of the act of the assembly in such case made or provided and against the peace, government, and the dignity of the state. Did recklessly engage in conduct to wit, drown, and strangle the victim that created a substantial risk of death or serious physical injury to Jamerria Thomas. Davin did reckless engage in conduct to which stabbed the victim that created a substantial risk of death or serious physical injury to Davin Thomas. She stabbed Davin. Y'all know what? I can't. I can't. She was born in 92. So she's 12 years under me. My God. Wow. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Y'all want to take a look at this. I'll post it in the chat where y'all can see it. I'll post it in the chat. This don't make no damn sense. This don't make no damn sense. Just a motherfucking ridiculous. Just a motherfucking ridiculous. All right, guys, y'all want to go take a look at her court docs. There it is, right there in comment section, right there. Thanks to Air Force One. Air Force One was able to get that for me. And wow, it ain't say she did well. You know, any news clips, it didn't say she did all that, but like she went way over and beyond. And the way I read this, sound like it may be some hatred somewhere. Damn, it sound like it was hatred. You know, guys. Let's just say this, and a lot of us have been saying this. I've been saying it. A lot of y'all in the comment section have been saying it, and they've been saying it all across the globe. If you don't want children, then just don't have them. You know, I mean, that's just bottom line. If you don't want children, then don't have them. You know, Don't happen because you see everybody else got them, and you see that happen with their children, and you think it's going to make you happy, but the whole time, you know, you can't handle it. You know, they just don't make no sense. Don't make no sense because we, them did not ask to be here. None of us asked to be here. But y'all chose to go through with it, and y'all gave birth to us. Just to get that tired of us later on down the road, that you want to kill us and harm us. You want to kill us and harm us. And I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I'm going to try to keep up with this story, give y'all much updates as possible. Those who have my email, if you get any updates before I do, please don't hesitate to send them to my email, and I'll be more than happy to bring the updates to y'all. But in that, though, right, Mimi, exactly. Amen to that. Preach. Oh, and Latimus, I don't know if you're still in the chat room or not. Look, hey, I can imagine what's going on in your head right now. Again, because you had a connection with this woman, so I know me, if I got a connection to somebody, some fucked up shit like this happened, and they did it to somebody, my head be spinning all over the place, you know, because I'm like, how could I have any kind of connection with somebody like that? It's going to make me feel some type of way, you know. You did this to your children, and you still expected me to be by your side, or I was once your friend and you did this. It ain't nothing you can say to me after you have done that. Nothing else you can say to me. It's done, deal, gone. Bon voyage. At that point, it's fuck you. Guys, take care of yourself and each other. Please keep your children safe and love your children. All right? Your man, Chris Storms. Catch y'all next time. Peace.